Oh shit, we're back for episode 4, One Tribe podcast. I'm just trying to what camera I'm at. So guys, episode 4 is back and I've got 2 special guests with me and we will see them or meet them after the break. All right, guys, welcome back. One Tribe Podcast, episode 4, and I've got 2 special guests with me. Let's meet the boys. Mr. Ty.
How are you? How's
Bro,
everybody today?
I've got your last name. I just forgot it. This is the fucking same shit I was talking about yesterday where I meet people and I forget their names. Ty.
Kubiak.
Mr. Ty Kubiak, mate. Take it over.
Hey, guys, how are you today? All good? So, I've been in Dubai for about 3 years now, working as a PT, like 90% of Dubai, I'd have to say. Former high-end security, close personal protection in Australia, which is where I've been doing for the last 8 years before I came here, and decided to follow my wife here, who's been here for 11 years. So,
My wife?
Yeah.
So
Nice one, brother.
No, she's not. She's Australian.
Is she?
And let's not just overshadow or overlook the size of the fucker. So he's a big boy. He works on the same gym floor as me, and he's one of the boys. And then Mr. Ziggy Darwish. Listen, throw it, mate. Give me a brief rundown. We've only got an hour on this fucker. Please give me.
So I invented hummus, and after that I went to tahini. All right, and then I invested in garlic, and we're doing very well. Okay, I've been in Dubai since 2006. Not sounding like a hero, but I am a hero, right? So let's get that bloody straight, right? Started the fitness industry with 2 other Australian guys. I won't mention their names, but they're all right.
Okay, wait, stop there. So let me give you a brief rundown on Mr. Ziggy. So I got here 13 years ago. You've been here 14 years.
I think so.
Yeah, so I met Ziggy the first year that I arrived here. There was one of 2 companies that I was potentially going to join before I knew I was going to run my own thing. Yeah, and your company...
Fitness O2. So there was Physical Advantage. I started with Physical Advantage. So I was happy in Australia, mate. You know, living in Bratton, a very kind of posh, snobby place. And one of my clients one day said, "Hey, Zig, I got some mates in Dubai." And I didn't even know what Dubai was, honest to God. Happy as Larry, pig and shit, living the good life. He goes, "Go to Dubai. These boys want to start a business." And I thought, back then, I was like, I'm adventurous. Let's have a look. 2 weeks later, took a trip to Thailand first, some Muay Thai. And then I went to Dubai. And what I didn't know, these smart asses put on a show for me. Honest to God.
Showed you that.
Back in 2006, December, imagine just being Australian. What do we do?
Oh, yeah.
The 3 of us are all from Aussie. So if you can't understand this podcast today, we're sorry,
you, mate, because you're stupid, bro.
Because when when we all get together, it's a bit fast and whatnot. So we apologise in advance.
Yeah, in Australia, everything is simple, right? We go to work, we go home, we cook a barbecue. No, that's just bullshit. We don't fucking cook a barbecue.
Yeah, throw shrimps on the
bro. Back to the fucking fitness company.
No. So
back to the fitness company.
I'm just saying, like, life was simple. And then I went to Dubai, and all of a sudden, I'm going to nightclubs with celebrities. There was like, people wrapping bottles. I thought it was all like from a P Diddy video clip, and they were throwing girls my way, all Emirates crew and this and that. And I was like, oh my God. Wow. And then I went back to... I did. No word of a lie. Told all my clients. I had about 13, 14 clients getting paid really well. And I was like, fuck it. I'm hopping on a plane. And then January 2007, I think 6th or 7th, I moved to Dubai. And I've been here ever since.
Right.
But it wasn't real. It wasn't real, I tell you.
So in a nutshell, he had a fitness company 13 years ago. Now... He's ex-Australian Navy as well, so he's got that background. Big Ty has a ex-close protection background, okay, so he's a bad motherfucker as well.
He's bad.
I'm from Southwest Sydney, so I'm a bad motherfucker as well, right? So that's bad enough.
All the lebos, bro.
Yeah.
You try not to get stabbed.
Look, boys, we'll dive into your backgrounds a bit later, but why I brought you two specifically and asked you boys to be on the podcast was this week's topic for me and the One Tribe crew is bullying, right? So bullying in all aspects, from being a youngster, either being bullied or being the bully. And then as we get older is seeing what we see in an industry that's very, I guess, judgmental and toxic. And then bit about your backgrounds in your former workplaces and stuff like that. Does it exist? Did you see it? Were you on the receiving end of it? And basically, what can we provide as three individuals, a bit of knowledge to maybe the young crew that are watching this to go forward? Because I think after last week there was a bit of media from Australia as well. That young fella, young half Aboriginal kid getting bullied, and I saw that, and it really, it affected me. You know what I mean? So that's why I wanted to talk about it today. So we're just testing the mics here, right, so let's jump into it, guys. So Ty, I'll start with you, bro.
So I mean, like you touched on before, we saw the same video of Quaden, the kid with dwarfism at school, and I remember
just needs to grow up.
Yeah.
Hey, go on, my son. No, I'm joking. That's the Australian. We've got to take the piss, but they took it too far, them bastards.
So I remember, and that sort of took me back to school times as well, which I think probably a few people that would have saw that video.
No one picked on you at school.
No, serious. Like, it was different back, I mean.
So what state did you grow up in?
Queensland.
Oh, did you? Me too.
Yeah.
Look at that. Brisbane?
So, yeah.
Whereabouts?
In school?
Yeah.
Maple Park.
No shit.
Yeah.
I was Wable Heights.
Oh, that's way up.
Mate, piss off. I'll beat you up.
So I've got two Queenslanders on this fucking podcast.
But that's the thing. Back in school times, it was a case of if you were getting bullied, you either had mates that were going to back you up, or you had a bigger brother or a cousin.
Yeah.
You'd even pull in your cousin from another school.
Absolutely.
Or it got to the point where your mate stood up for you, or the old, I meet you at the back gate, meet you at the bike rack.
Yep.
Racks. But there was always one thing was you always had a couple of kids at the school that were either had disability or a bit learning difficulties, something like that. And it was like this unwritten law, you don't touch them.
Yeah.
If you were the biggest prick at school, it wouldn't matter because you would either get the cane.
Yeah, that's right.
Or you'd be expelled.
Yeah, that's right. There was the fear of God.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So things were a bit different back then. Now it's a whole lot different.
Yeah.
Your parents would. Not only would you get the cane, but then they'd call your parents to the school, and you'd be like, "That's my life." Right?
Yeah. Were you? I mean, you would have seen bullying, but were you ever on the receiving end of it, or were you ever?
I think we all have had a taste of it.
Yeah.
I never got to the. I mean, I look like I do now, but I didn't look like this when I was 10,
of course.
14,
Yeah, you're bigger.
I've seen you put a photo up last year that fucking blew me the fuck away. Like when you were you used to work corporate, or it was in a suit. The one that was Okay, so he was in a suit, and mate. Anyway, like the transformation this fella's made, huge. Yeah. So
but I think every kid got a taste of bullying to some degree, whether they were subject to it quite a lot, or whether they've had a taste of it where they got picked on by a bigger kid or pushed over or laughed at for something. I think we all got a taste of it to some degree. Yeah. But me personally, I was never affected by it. I never got hounded by anybody. Like I said, there was always someone to help you.
Now, Zig, right, being like son of an immigrant family to Australia, so you're the same as me, right? So growing up in Australia.
For me, it was awesome. I'll tell you why. Because I was, obviously, okay, so let's explain. I'm a WOG in Australia. It means a welcome overseas guest. No, it doesn't. What it basically is anyone, especially back then, now it's different. After September 11th, they pushed all the Arabs to just be Arabs. Before we were just WOGs, right? So we were in so if you were ethnic.
Depends what you ate.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Shawarma. So I always loved that kind of gang warfare growing up. It was like the Wogs versus the Aussies. Yeah. Anywhere I went, like you said, if anyone picked on me, which they never did for some reason because they didn't know who the fuck I was, right? Yeah. I was like a skinny little Aboriginal islander bloke, so they were very confused on who I was, especially in Queensland. I always had cousins and friends, so anytime there were a bunch of like white Aussie guys, it hardly ever happened, but it was like, yeah, you fucking Wog. All I thought was, I'm going to make a few phone calls, and you
Guess
know
who's coming
and
around
you
the
know
corner?
what? You know you're
Me and my
fucked.
brothers.
Like when I say you're fucked, they knew that the wogs wouldn't fuck around. They would smash you and then kick your front door in and scare your whole family. We didn't do that. Maybe we did. I don't know. But for me, in primary school, kind of never saw it because, once again, anyone that was disabled or anything, we always looked after them. They were like family.
Yeah, they were off limits.
They were off limits. You wouldn't even think about it.
Even if you were part of the arsehole crowd, you wouldn't touch them.
No.
You wouldn't. They wouldn't.
No.
They're just off limits.
We didn't get that. And in high school, growing up, you know, we start getting in, like, there was the Chinese that started to come in the early 90s. And then, because we were so dumb in high school, the ego kicks in, you've got hormones. So you tried to be cool in front of the girl by going, oh, hello, ching chong. I one time in grade 8, and I said, this tall guy, I'm like, oh, what's going on, ching chong boy? Like an idiot, trying to be cool.
Yeah.
And he stood up, he goes, what did you say? And then I realized, I'm like, I'm a fucking idiot. And I was mature enough to go, oh, I'm sorry, man.
Right. That's perfect, right? Because you've just segued into one of the main topics how I wanted to start this, right? Was as kids, primary school, high school, okay, you calling that Asian, Chinese, ching chong, right? For you, they were words and they didn't mean anything, right? It was just a term, okay? Same with me, like, you know, I remember having, I went to an all-boys school, okay? So, like, there were homosexuals on the school grounds, which, you know, at the time, it was a topic because they stuck together, right? And just because they were different, they were picked on.
They were outsiders.
They're outsiders, correct.
They were just
right?
outsiders.
So then you call someone gay, you fucking, or you poof, or something like that.
And it was
right?
socially accepted as well.
Correct.
Everyone.
Correct. Now, as I get older...
Sorry, can I just cut you off?
go on,
When I joined the Navy in 1997, I watched a video at HMAS Cerberus, and I'm sure they still got this video, but they got rid of it, the fuckers. I think it was a captain on board HMAS Adelaide. Oh, it was a frigate back then, bro.
Was it called Put Your Torpedo in Here?
Hey, see, you're so rude. And on that video, it said, right, the captain was giving words to the ship's company on about stepping ashore in Southeast Asia. He goes, right, one of the things he said was, no poofs.
Yeah.
And that's what we were shown to say, no poofs.
Yeah.
So going back to your point of anyone being gay,
right.
It was socially acceptable back then to jump
to
on the
out,
bandwagon. To call
absolutely.
It out.
And I mean, growing up as in Australia especially, is that, you know, your dad, we're, you know, immigrant families, but they get the Aussie slang very fucking fast. I mean, they were there from the, you know, late 70s. So they're forced to live that way and they take it on, right? So
because they want to fit into the
absolutely.
Yes,
so as I'm growing up and I didn't want to play a certain sport or I acted a certain way, Dad would call me a poof. Fucking, what's wrong with you, poof? Like, and again, it didn't mean anything because it was a word of like saying, you know, get on with it. You know, get on with it and stop acting like that.
Making you snap out.
Right. So you know, we're in 2020 now, and you know, I guess we're all in an industry where, you know, being homosexual is so acceptable now, and it should be.
But in saying that, don't you think that I feel like that we've swung in the opposite direction now where they are, okay, so first of all, with the gay community, listen, this is like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, picking up from there.
Yeah, so whether, like I said, whether you're transgender, gay, whatever, now it's walking on eggshells on, okay, so between mates, and I've got gay, it's funny, you got gay mates and you're like, you big poof, and they'll have a laugh. But if you say it online now there are repercussions on what you say. Anyone can attack you. They can pick something up from Twitter and throw you away. Oh my God, he said that. But I think everyone should fuck off.
I had to be, I'm not sure, and I'm asking, right, is one of the ones you train in the morning gay?
Yeah, I've got a gay client. Yeah.
He trains at the gym?
Yeah.
The one with the tats?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so...
Is he the one that's always sending me WhatsApp messages going,
listen, I was going off on one of my boys last week and I called him. I said, stop acting like a fucking poofter. And I said it.
Yeah.
And I've never spoke to you about him, your client. Yeah. And I went, oh, shit. And I wasn't sure if you heard it or not. Because that's like, after I said it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Was you get to the point where it's like, you say something and you go, oh.
Yeah.
And it's hurting you more than
it's hurting
someone else you think it's going to hurt.
Of course, because I don't know the bloke and
he's open with it. He doesn't some of the stuff we talk about.
Yeah.
It's just
just
like,
gay.
yeah, I just say, I just come out and say, dude, you're a fucking raging homo.
You're flamer.
And he's like, yeah, I am, you know.
And I'm proud.
Mate, look, to be straight up, like, you know, we used to, back in Sydney, go out to all the spots where, you know, all the gays and homosexuals hung out because they were the best spots. You wouldn't get into any fights.
The nightclubs, Oxford Street back
You wouldn't
in
get
the
into fights. They just love to party and they're good people, man. It's not like they're any different. But as a kid, you don't know, right? It's segregated, especially like Sydney, Melbourne and whatnot. So,
mate, can you imagine me being in the Navy? They had this policy. It was an unspoken policy of no puffs, as I said before.
But you all were.
Yes, we were all gay.
In your white,
no, but
and
going off track, let's call a spade, right? There was a thing that the Royal Australian Navy used to do, and I'm not sure if they still do it, but back then tradition, you would go up to Southeast Asia, and I never did this. Honestly, I never did this, right? You go up to Southeast Asia and you get yourself a beanie. Now, what's a beanie? A beanie is a transvestite, basically a guy that dresses up as a woman, but he's got his tackle and hook. Whoa, wait. Now, it was very popular for a young sailor to hook up with a beanie. Now, if that's not gay, I don't know what is.
Was it like a rite of passage?
Yes, like, I got my first fucking beanie.
that sounds like a rugby tour that we've... we won't go there. Another story.
That's why I played back.
Thailand.
So I think everyone's confused.
Anyway, so look, to sort of round that one off, is that like words that we used to say as young fellas, you know what I mean, have now more of an impact, I think, in today's generation and today's era, where you know, because like that story on the gym floor, I just said it. Something, you know, stop acting like a fucking poof there. And then I was like, shit.
Today? And funny, it was because he said to me, he didn't say anything about that, right?
Yeah.
Nothing. The only thing he said to him was he turned to me and he said, you know what's going to happen if you try and talk that shit to me. I'm like, out of here. And I'm like, that's why I know I can't scream at you.
Yeah, like, so going, segue into the next is that words now, like we've got to be walking on eggshells, like you said, is that before it was you'd try to sort of put someone down because of the way they were acting or whatever, you know. But now, you know, kids in today's generation, in 2020, you can fire words at them, right? Are they taking it to heart? Because it's not water off a duck's back anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
I think kids these days are
just a bunch of puffs.
Are a lot... They're not kids that we were.
Yeah.
No.
They are kids trying to act like adults, and we're adults still trying to act like kids.
Yeah.
It's a total switch. You know, they want... You're getting 12-year-old boys that are thinking they're 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think social media has really... Social media's hurt society today. Back then, if you had a problem with someone, you'd face them. Bullying, if it was face-to-face, what I've seen... You know, it was funny. Back in school, I always hung out with the cool kids, right?
Yeah.
And occasionally the cool kids would pick on someone, whether they were Asian, whether they were, you know, weak. And I would always stick up. It's just my nature. I always stick up for the weak guy. Even now, if I see someone getting picked up on a nightclub, I'd be like, what are you doing?
I'm the same, I'm the same.
I think that comes to...
I think maybe that's our generation.
But I think that's how you're brought up too,
exactly.
right? Parenting, like, you know, like my old man said, always treat people fair. Don't ever take shit from anyone. Okay. And right, this goes into a nice little detour, is that we all have, the three of us have martial arts backgrounds, studied martial arts as we grew up. Okay. I won't go into the arts that we studied, but I know for me, my dad pushed me, because he's a martial artist as well, he pushed me into that as a youngster because he wanted me to protect myself if it ever needed to, you know, if I ever needed to throw down or was attacked or whatever, protect myself. And as I got older, I changed into different forms of arts that I enjoyed, right? So, like you just said then, kids nowadays are able to take it, give it, but back when we were growing up, if someone gave you shit, is either you throw down, right, or you walk away, or you know, two groups would come to on the schoolyard and fucking punch on. You know what I mean? So
you sort it out right there and then most of the time.
Yeah, there wasn't this continued 6 months going home, upset, hiding in your bedroom, not telling your parents. One, because parents were more parents back then. They knew something wasn't right.
Yeah.
Would you say today's
100%.
parents is, what I'm seeing from mates, I think parents today, and I'm not a parent, by the way, but I just think parents generally speaking, are much loving and softer than our generation.
Yeah,
Like, my dad
100%,
my dad
bro.
was
Yeah,
an arsehole.
100%.
So if my dad was going to treat me like an arsehole,
Yeah.
when someone gave me a bit of shit outside,
But
I was like, no problem.
Tell me this, right? Your old still here?
My father's passed away.
Okay.
But my mum's still around.
Right.
yeah.
So for me, I know as I got older, it actually took me to leave Dubai, leave Australia, and move out to get a closer relationship with my old man. Because I watched my grandfather, how he treated dad, right? Immigrant fucking,
Well,
families,
my father was
hard
an
ass.
immigrant as well.
Yeah.
He did pretty hard.
Yeah.
He snuck over on a boat from Poland during when he was 14.
Yeah.
During the war.
Yeah.
Wow.
So he went on a boat straight to North Queensland, being a Kanaka. You know what Kanaka is?
Is that not Canadian, right? Kanaka.
So sugarcane.
Fucking
cutter.
Canadian.
No. So if you go to Vancouver,
No, so it was the hardest.
It was this fella,
Yeah,
yeah.
which is,
no, it was the
so
hardest
I'm
job.
right,
It was
bro.
the hardest job you could do. It was cut sugar.
Yeah.
So he did that at 14. So
That's what the Fijians do for crust every day, bro. Sugarcane farmers.
yep. So same thing. It wasn't.
Yep.
Same thing with being an immigrant.
Yeah, so, and I think for me, and watching my grandfather, the relationship my dad had with him, very, like, concrete, you know what I mean? So then dad had that concrete, like, he was fair to me. Always, like, bro, treat it never, if a hiding was deserved, he'd give it to me because I was playing up. And I look at back that now, like, they were deserved.
Yep.
And he wouldn't punch the fuck out of me, but he'd let me know
get
that
it.
who's dad, don't fucking fuck around in this house. But I look back now at the age of 35 and go, everything, and I wrote him an email because when I moved here, I couldn't speak to dad like this.
Yeah, it's funny.
It was our phone calls still, he'll get on the phone when mum calls me. I'm a mummy's boy, right? Like, real close with my mum, can tell her everything. Dad, not so much. Dad's phone calls now, probably 80 seconds, 90 seconds. Just to the point.
Just like my
You
dad.
good?
How are you? You good?
Yeah.
You healthy? You happy?
done my
Okay,
job.
bye.
Yeah, that's it. Sweet as. But I wrote him an email and I said, look, everything that you taught me sort of indirectly has now come around this time, at my age now. I see it all. I see all the lessons and, I just want to thank you for it. That was my, as he gets older, I want him to know that all the hidings they did me justice, you know what I mean?
Put you on the right track.
And they treat you know how to treat people. I mean, we've all had our setbacks in life and we all go through that. But
You'll hear Ziggy's famous words. Sorry to cut you off, mate. Then there's the other road. So, like, your parents and I guess my parents, they gave me just enough hiding to push me in the right direction.
Yep.
But then I look at other mates my age where they're in massive depression now because their fathers would beat the shit out
wouldn't
of
or
them.
would?
Did.
Okay, right.
Well, there's a difference between trying to discipline your child and abusing.
Yeah.
them.
Abusing.
Yeah.
So
For
I
sure,
guess
yeah.
We got chased under the bed with the
Yeah.
belt.
Yeah.
One
bro.
good whack with the belt.
and then you're done. You're happy.
I'm done.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, you can go a step further down and absolutely annihilate your fucking child.
You're not going to
And
use
then
your
you've
kids
just
as a
got
punching
damaged
bag,
goods
man. You know what I mean?
forever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like, so this goes back to what you were just saying, Zig, is that parents now in this day and age,
Are they too soft?
are they too soft? They're definitely more understanding and open. I guarantee that.
I think what I've seen,
Yeah.
they're really loving and I would say to some of my friends, look, your kid's a bit out of order. Why don't you just kind of put a little bit of fear of God into them? And they're like, no.
Is that? I wouldn't get that confused with loving them. Are they there? Are they present being a parent?
Yeah, absolutely. But
Some parents have got so much going on and so much other stuff, they're not present as a parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's all kids need sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
Is to spend time with their
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
And they don't have to go to those drastic measures.
So
to speak.
I'll give you a quick 2 examples before we get a commercial break, guys. I'll look at my younger brother and a good friend of mine that lives here and her child. Being spoiled, giving too much love has completely fucked their lives for some reason.
Yeah.
It's really weird. They've got all the love, no hitting, all the encouragement, everything they want. They did everything by the textbook in terms of being loving and nurturing and being there and talking and being their best friend. And they've gone completely off the
The other
rails.
way,
So
yeah.
I think you need to get lucky in life when you bring up, I don't know how to bring up kids, by the way. Cats, I do.
Well,
but-
he's a dad. So
I've
yeah.
got a 21-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
22, sorry.
In Australia or here?
No, she's in Australia at the moment, and she's.
I was going to make a joke, but look at the size of you. It's not worth it.
She's gay too, by the way.
Oh wow!
But I could not be more proud. She's been in this relationship for 7 years.
Wow.
She's at university studying surgical medicine.
Wow.
So I couldn't be happier.
She wasn't on Marriage at First Sight, was she?
No, mate. She's too
thank
smart
God
for that.
Okay.
There you go. So look, we will come back after the break. We'll dive in a little bit more into this topic because I think we need to open it up. So, guys, we'll go to a break real quick, and we'll be back with a little bit more on One Try. Peace.
We've all been there. Hours searching the internet, asking friend upon friend, making call after call, trying to find the right fitness professional, health specialist, or sports coach. So much time, energy, and even money spent only to find more problems than solutions. Well, now, with the Find Fit People platform, you can find all the available professionals with the skills you need in an instant. We've removed all the barriers by establishing a community of many different skilled health specialists, sports coaches, and fitness professionals that are alerted immediately once you've posted your request. In under 30 seconds, you can attract multiple professionals with the right skills to help you achieve the result you want. It's simple, fast, and free. Find us online at www.findfitpeople.com or download the Find Fit People app from Apple or Google Play stores so you can find fit people today.
Today we're going to learn about hummus.
There you go.
Tabbouleh. Why is tabbouleh and hummus good for you?
So we're back. We're back. So nice little intro there, brother.
Thanks, bro.
So look, we were talking about are the parents now in this era a little bit too soft? We definitely know they're understanding. I've got a lot of parents my age out here, new parents, first, second kids. Definitely a lot more understanding than we grew up, I guess, with, because it was black and white when we grew up, right? So it's either you did wrong, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
And there's a lot less going on 20
years absolutely
ago compared to what's going on
it's
today.
busy now though, isn't it? Back in our
you've got so much outside influence in your life.
Back in our days, ladies and gentlemen, it was this simple. You go to school, you come home, you'd watch a TV show like Neighbours, right? And then you'd be in bed by 7 o'clock.
Heartbreak High, brother. Heartbreak High. Come on. Heartbreak High.
Alex Dimitriadis.
You look like me.
Anyway, what, mate? Going back, the monkey magic,
Monkey Magic,
and the goodies,
Yeah. But now, thanks to social media and YouTube, and everyone wants to be a celebrity now. Everybody wants to be famous.
Yeah. So
busy.
Good little point there. So back in the day, if you got bullied, and I wasn't on the receiving end of bullying, but I thought about this last night. And I went, well, my name, right, in Australia, Nigel. Yeah. Nigel, no friends. Nigel, no friends.
Yeah, bro.
Right. So like I went through primary school, and people used to say, but it never sort of affected me because I guess again the way Dad sort of taught me a few things, it just rolled off my back. Yeah. But it could have been the other way. Like primary school's where primary school, for anyone who doesn't know, is like junior school, like, intro. That's where your foundation's built, right? That's where you learn how to make friends. Be social, exactly.
Socially interact with other
exactly.
people.
So, it sort of rolled off my back. But then at the same time, I remember, other kids in that I grew up with didn't have the best time through primary school, you know what I mean? And that's remembering now.
Imagine having a name like Zied. So my real name is Zied, not Ziggy. So primary school, Zied. That was interesting. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, in Australia, this is how fucked it is. Back in the day, Ziad.
What can we call him?
We'll call you Zach.
Yeah,
right.
We'll
call you Zach.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
you'd have three people that get around in group and say, "All right, we want to come up with a name for him to yell at him every time he walks past."
Yeah.
And it'd stick with you.
You know where the name Ziggy came from? Wasn't in primary or high school. When I joined the Royal Australian Navy, you had to stand up. Right, first day. Okay. You had to stand up and tell them what's your name and where you're from. And I stood up, I go, my name's Ziggy Darwish, I'm from Brisbane. And the petty officer that was running it, he goes, what? I'm like, Ziad. He's like, what? I said, Ziad, Jews. He goes,
Nah.
Ziggy. Nah, fuck it, Ziggy. Your name's Ziggy from now on. And it's stuck. Even my parents now call me Ziggy.
Yeah.
Like, Habibi, yeah, Ziggy. I'm like, what? What's my name? Yeah.
Right, so, kids didn't have it. If they went to school and they got bullied, they could go home and that'd be their safe place, right? And a lot of it was kept from parents because they didn't want to seem like they were, weak, I guess. But now, kids go to school, get a hiding from their friends and bullied.
Is it? I don't know anything about schools nowadays. Is it really bad now?
Bro.
Are kids getting the shit kicked out of them?
I don't think on that aspect. I don't think on that aspect. I think it's all done through socials.
Because social media
and face to face, right?
Social media is nasty.
Bad place.
Listen,
man.
you can call me a wog to my face, and then I can use my expression and passion and anger and go, okay, I'm going to shut up because I don't want to get beaten up because he looks big. Or I could go, fuck off you, this and that.
Yeah.
But when someone's sending you a message, you know what I mean? Like,
absolutely.
And they don't even know you. Like, so for example, I put up silly videos of boxing and Muay Thai, and everyone has a joke. Occasionally you're like, hey man, you're a dickhead. What are you even doing? In my head, you know what I think? I'm gonna find where you live, right? I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly to America. I'm gonna knock on. This is what you're gonna get, cunt. Hey, how are you? Hi, hey, how you going? Ziggy who? Ziggy from Muay Thai Muppets. This is your message. Zayed.
Bang.
And then fucking headbutt. So social media is...
it's a bad place. Like, so, the kids back in the day would have gone home and forgotten about it for the 12 hours they're home and then have to endure it next day. And that's pretty fucked, right? I get like 100% because there's groups of people at school that you want to stay away from or they were just giving you shit. But now, like you were just saying, they go to school, they get it. They come home, their Twitter, Instagram, that, got DMs on from the same bunch of little fuckers.
Can you imagine getting a photo of yourself?
It's actually given them more access to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you said, they go home for 12 hours. They're okay back when we were.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, then they go on their Facebook or their Instagram, and it's there as well.
All right, I'm going to be a conspiracy theorist right now. If I was a conspiracy theory type of bloke, I would say the powers that be, the big boys like Facebook that own Instagram, own WhatsApp, if they had any balls, and don't give me this fucking freedom of speech because it's coming from a Western country like Australia, don't fucking tell me that. You're fucking free, but don't. Social media, I know you called me an old man, but somehow they've got to block comments. Okay, because comments are ruthless. Because even adults aren't mature enough to fucking leave decent comments. If you're not going to leave a decent comment, fuck off.
That little fella that went through the shit last week, Quaden. So his parents didn't ask, or his mum put it out on social media to show an example. Whoever's watching, right? They didn't have big followings or anything. This is what's happening to my son. This is the shit I have to deal with every day.
He's not the only one.
Right, no, absolutely.
I've got a mate back home who's got a couple of autistic boys.
Yeah.
And I was just reading a post last night that they circled him. And
Are
you serious?
Yeah. And all that sort of, he's dealing with it.
If you were a parent, you were a parent and that was your child, I visualize, and I don't give a fuck what anyone says. And I hope to God this never happens if I ever have children. If your kid comes out disabled, you're going to love them and all that. Of course, as they get older, and if anyone picked on them, I was thinking about this the other night. Yeah. I would go to that parent's place. You can take me to jail, I don't care, but I would beat the parent up in front of that kid fucking bad that they would never, ever fucking dare ever fucking say a word again.
Listen. Before we get carried away and get arrested, fucking hell. Like, the point of the parenting, like I said this on my social media the other day after I watched the video of this little fella. Get back to the point. The little fella's now got donations from everywhere, celebrities that they didn't ask for, right? But now social media is so fucked that people are going, well, you know what? They're making up stories and fake accounts for this fella and saying that it was all an act, right? No, man, the kid's 9. No. You'd hope there's still good people left in the world, and there is, because this kid made, 300 grand he got donated from everywhere around the world, and that's awesome. There's still good in humanity. Yeah. But then for the shitbags to make up these stories and comments what the fuck, man?
You're always going to get that.
You don't think that little fella and his parents are now going, you know what? Fuck. Like, he's going, well, I get a hard time at school and I can go to Disneyland now and get a bit of happiness because he deserves it. Now he's reading these comments going, fuck, I don't even want to be here again.
But is all that going to stop him getting bullied, though?
No, probably make it worse.
You know?
It'll probably make it worse.
I don't know.
But
I think it's a good thing. I think hopefully he's mature enough, and even though he's 8, 9, because I think kids today are much more mature than us dumbasses growing up.
Yeah.
I think kids think they're more mature.
Yeah.
Whether they are or not, two totally different things.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you noticed this. Kid on the skateboard, me and you were standing out the front. We were standing out the front waiting for this fella because he's always late. Yeah. And he came past on his skateboard. Now, fucking earpods in. And
Was he singing or something?
no, he was whistling.
That's right.
Whistling. And I went, fuck. Size of him standing up with the tattoos and that, and I'm only a short ass, right? I don't look that scary. But back in the day, if that was me, I would have picked up the board. I would have been on the other side of the road.
Yeah.
Right? He came and he looked straight at me and whistled.
Yeah.
And I went, that little fucker, no respect. Now, me, I wanted to go after him, chase him just to prove a point. You little fucker. But he had some respect. There's no respect with these kids anymore, right?
Exactly.
At all. So when I hear kids in this day and age being bullied, and I'm like, well, do they deserve it? Because is it coming back around? What are they doing to other people? Yeah. Right? Not, it's never deserved. But I know that the kids these days, like you said, think they're a lot older than they are, that they know everything, and there's no respect for the elders at all. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I believe, ladies and gentlemen out there? What's happening right now in the world because of social media over the last decade and what have you, it is like when my parents and your parents and your folks came to Australia. We are going through a teething problem at the moment, and I believe in the next decade, a lot of this will be sorted out. Does that make sense?
But is it sorted out to the point where, you know, these young fellas and young females, males, are taking their lives? Is it taking that to sort it out? Like mate, the suicide rate in Australia alone
that's pretty extreme,
is another level.
When kids and they're not teenagers, or they're young teenagers.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Like, how does it get to that point? How long does it take? How much access do these people have to them to push them that far? It's like,
but
if I was a parent, I'd be like, well, this is where I believe the problem lays. It's not only with the bullies, it's the parents of the bullies. One, do they even know?
No, yeah. No way, man. No way.
And two,
if they do, they should be shot because that's.
Yeah, and two, not only that, it's where this is happening, which 90% of it is in school, right?
Yeah.
The school has to take some sort of responsibility.
Absolutely.
Aren't they a bit soft now, the schools?
They're useless.
Like, they're like,
like I went back to earlier. If you screwed up, the biggest thing that could happen to you at school, you either
got the cane.
One level down was the cane, and your parents came, and then they'd flog you.
Yeah. Hard out, yeah. Bro.
Or if the next thing worse was that, sorry, your kid's expelled.
Yeah.
Do you remember report card time? Report card time, bro. I was a fucking dumb shit at school. And I went this report card, and then when they started sending them home,
easily distracted in class.
They used to send them home with the kids to give to their parents. I was like, yeah, we'll get this.
You couldn't hide in your bag.
But when they started mailing them home, and you're like, I'm getting a hiding.
Stupid.
And my mum, the fucking, she was like, it'd be on the kitchen table when I go home from school. She goes, wait till your father gets home. That's all she'd say, and I would be packing shit.
The worst thing.
Do you think parents are softer now?
The headmistress called us today. I'm fucked.
Bro. Yeah.
Do you think parents now would go, you're the problem, my child's not the problem? Do you think that's the case?
Oh, yeah, to a degree.
Why? What do you mean? That's what we're. This is the era we live in. Blame you, not blame the kid.
I don't know because I'm not a parent, right?
Mate,
I don't know.
I see enough of them here.
I've heard that some parents go, well, obviously you're not taking my child's problems into consideration. He's not the problem. You're the problem.
Why is my kid not in this sporting team? Because your kid is shit and he needs more training. So go get him more training.
Here's the great thing with all of this, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the fucking truth. Let me drop some fucking knowledge bomb on you hutters out there, right? If you're a parent and you're bringing your child up soft and you're going to cover him with fucking bubble wrap like over there. Whoa, nice bubble wrap, by the way. There's going to get a stage where your confident little shit kid goes on a Kentucky tour or a trip overseas or somewhere, goes nightclubbing thinking he's confident, and he's going to go to some guy or girl or whatever like, whatever. Yeah. He's going to get a fucking hiding that will knock some sense into him that will have, I'm sorry to say, a negative impact most of the time.
It's one big, massive life lesson that should have been learned in small chunks over time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's look.
Am I right?
I hope none of your kids, if you're watching as parents, get into
Yeah, no, I
fights,
don't want that, but
neither does Ziggy, because like, I get what he's saying though. I think I know for myself. You. There was a time and place in my life where, as I was growing up, that I met somebody who was better than me, and I mouthed off, and I got a hiding. But it was actually 2 blokes gave me a hiding, right? Sydney left me in Darling Harbour, and that was the night I got up and went, fuck, you know what? Time to stop.
being a smart ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
There was always those, oh, shit.
Yeah. And that's
Fuck,
the
what
night.
did I do?
Yeah, I got dropped,
Yeah.
man.
And sorry,
And it sticks with you.
Yeah.
for those that are listening, it's not that I'm speaking from experience because I did the same thing. I was a little smart ass growing up, right? In an era where you shouldn't have been, but I was a smart ass because I always hung out with big boys like Ty, right? All the big Maori Samoans, Aussies. And there was this one time I was gobbing off, as we say, and then in the Navy, wait, let's not be going. And then my mates weren't with me the next week when I went to like an underage nightclub, and all of a sudden I'm by myself.
Yeah.
And then I got surrounded, and the guy's like, "Say what you said last week."
Yeah.
And I was very lucky. I kind of started to become, almost cried on the spot, and they were like, "You're lucky. We're going to let you off the hook."
And that was the thing when you were kids. If you were, and the amount of times where you'd be in your group at school and you'd be picking on whatever, or you'd say something, and the next minute it's just you and your mate on your push bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of your element.
Yeah,
out
bro.
of
Yeah.
your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you'd come across their group.
Yeah.
And you'd be like,
It's
right,
on.
you ride down such and such a
Yeah.
street, and I'll ride
Oh
down
my
such
God,
and
yeah,
such a
absolutely.
street.
Yeah, that happens.
Look, in a nutshell, I think that little, I see it, I think these two boys see it, is that, and we're not, look, I'm not here to judge parents because I'm not a fucking parent, so I don't know what it's like, but I train a lot of kids, and how they are with me versus how they are in front of the parents, two different people,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, you know, I hope going forward, and with this social bullying and all this stuff, that it does get better, it needs to get better, but it needs to be taught by the parents. It needs to be taught by people like us who've seen it, who've been through it, who've either been a bully or been bullied, need to start coming forward and talking and speaking up, because the age gap's not that massive. It's not like when we were back in the day where you'd see 30-year-olds back in the day and go, fuck, they're men. You know what I mean? Like 30-year-olds now, right, they're all like, you know, a bit soft and around the edges, which is nothing wrong with that.
And
But
some of them are still claiming to be bullied, like in the work.
yeah.
Okay, look.
You
Fair
brought up
enough,
a great
but-
point. A lot of people see. The only time I ever got bullied, and it really affected me for at least a decade. When I joined the Australian Navy, I was bullied because I was one of the few ethnic people. I was the only. At one point, I was the only ethnic guy on a warship. Now, the only reason I never ever hit anyone because I wanted to make I had a career plan. I wanted to get away from the ethnic thing of owning supermarkets and all that kind of fun stuff. So I wanted to make my parents proud and myself proud. And I was being picked on by the weakest. It was funny. It was reverse bullying. Those pussies in fucking high school that I used to protect from being bullied were now bullying me.
Yeah.
Now I couldn't do anything because if I was to hit them,
It's done.
I would
Discharged,
be
yeah.
court-martialed and I would get I'd be discharged and what's the word?
Honourable discharge.
No, not the opposite to honourable discharge.
Dishonourable.
Yeah, dishonourable discharge. What up, dumbass? Right? And that would go on your record if you were to get a job.
Yeah,
or something.
yeah,
So I was
exactly.
stuck between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah.
I had these nerds, these pussies that used to go, "Oh, you fucking wog, you this and that," and in my head, I'm like. If I had been a civilian and you'd say that, you would never say that if I was a
Get
civilian.
in touch with them now, offer them a free session.
But here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. Now, tell me if this is right or wrong. 6 months into my Navy career, being picked on, you know, I'm very strong internally. I would cry at night and all that, and I'm like, me, Ziggy, Ziad, ex-Australian kickboxing amateur champion, street fighter from Cleveland, Brisbane, knocking people out at 60 kgs.
Someone's going to call him out after this.
Right?
Someone should call him out after this.
Call me out, Brisbane,
Right, we'll go straight
Cleveland.
back to work after
Right?
this.
Go for it. And then one day we had what we called a clear lower deck, which means everyone on the flight deck of a warship, and that's where the officers go, right, okay, once a month we need to catch up. Has anyone got any problems? Let's bring it forward before we go on this deployment.
Yep.
And I was just...
Yeah, you don't.
and I did.
Oh, right.
the youngest guy on
Rat,
about 20
rat.
people. I stood up and I go, yeah, I got a problem. And everyone looked at me like, how dare you? You're
Ziggy,
just a
you dog.
19-year-old.
Yeah.
Shut your fucking mouth.
Yeah.
And I go, right. I go, none of you know me, right? You just know me as Ziggy, the conscientious guy that's always positive, the ethnic guy that dresses well, that doesn't drink alcohol and goes to the gym. I go, but before 6 months before this, I was knocking cunts out like you every fucking day, right? You don't know me, right? So let's sort this problem out right now. If anyone has a personal problem with me, let's walk down the gangway, down the plank, onto the wharf, and let's fucking get it. Hey, you know what? Fuck it. All you cunts.
Yeah.
Right? All you fucking cunts, let's fucking go now.
You, me, car
And you
park
know what?
now.
The petty officers, the leading seamen, the able seamen, the lieutenants, everyone fucking looked to the deck. No one said a word. And after that fucking day, I got respect. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I guess maybe if you're being bullied, sometimes you got to grow a set of balls, even if you get your ass kicked.
I absolutely, I agree with you out there because it's
Sorry, folks, someone else.
Look, you've got to pick those times.
Yeah.
You've got to be able to portray that confidence
But
across.
I let it go for too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it builds up. It builds up to
it
that
affected
point.
me for a decade.
Yeah.
It
And
affected me.
And there you go. Yeah.
If
that's
I
the
had
thing.
have just stood up right there and then, instead of trying to be this, in my head, I'm like, I'm going to be a good guy now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to swear anymore. I'm going to study. I can overcome these bullies. No, parents out there, if you know your kid's being bullied, jump on it now.
Well, we're all in an industry, right? We've got a couple of minutes left on this, but we're all in an industry where, like, I think we've all crossed paths with young kids and, you know, trained young kids and that. I hope I come across to these young fellas. I don't come across as an adult to these young fellas or females.
You're a mate.
Yeah, I want to be. And if there is shit going on, I'd love for them to open up, which a lot of them do. Yeah. They do, you know, and then I can feed it to the parents because the parents aren't too much older than me, right? So it's a certain way that I think people like us in an industry like this where these young kids are looking at certain Instagram influencers and stuff and I was like, I want to be like that. But they don't know, like you said, they don't know that person inside and out. So it's just, you want to be like a photo or a video. No. So hoping that the message gets through to us that we can give these young females, males, some insight on how to direct that life. And, you know, you don't need to be a certain somebody to be liked. Because I think we've all gone through it. We've all gone through our morphs in this industry. Should I do this? Should I be this way? This, that, the other. So an industry or certain people like us, right? And we've all done it. Nobody can say, oh, I've been myself, fucking bullshit. Like, we've all made that hop. But now we're here and we're on the other side of it and we go, okay, this is me, whether you like it or not. But that comes with age. It comes with wisdom. It comes with fucking up in life. I'd love to pass this message on to these young kids. They're going to write their own story. They're going to go through it all, right? But I think it takes people like us in this industry, and this is just going back to the industry, I've got it written down. Bullying in the fitness industry is so big, and it's all done now via social media. People calling people out. We're fitness trainers. Like, we do fitness for a living. It's not fucking important.
Yeah,
like,
I believe that. Those that are justifying, listen, those that are looking at your own personal trainer or some influencer, they shit like you, they eat like you, they are fucking nothing. Everything is
like these people, you know, the narcissism.
yeah.
People who got eating disorders.
Yeah, bro. But
and these are people that are portraying themselves as healthy, strong and fit. And, you know, hey, look, I eat this and I eat this and I do everything
I was
right.
one of them, man. I was one of them. I was fucking full of gear, steroids and that. And I was like, you know, I've spoke about this on other podcasts. I was one of them. And because I was a little bit younger, that's what I thought the industry wanted from me, right? But you're right. Like, it's an industry set up to make people fail. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But and I know you've done it quite well. I know a couple of other coaches that touch on it as well. They bring it up. They say, look, I know what you're going through because I've either been through it and I don't care. I'll come straight up if say I've had an eating disorder or I've had issues with, you know, this or that or body image issues. So I know what you're going through, so let me help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But just to keep going out and, you know, taking stupid photos on your car and thinking that you're king shit. Like you said, when you come down it, we're all all the same.
Absolutely.
These people are going home looking at themselves in the mirror, and people are idolising their physiques, and they're looking at themselves in the mirror going, I look disgusting.
Yeah.
You're right. I think it's all pathetic because I definitely, I know I have a lot of people around the world that idolise me because I do silly Muay Thai or I do boxing and I've we've all got a part. I'm nothing special. I'm just the bloke that's prepared to get punched in the face. But people will go, or being an ex-military guy, they're like, oh, you're this. I'm like, no, mate, I am nothing. I'm as good as you.
We do it for a job, mate.
Do it for
Listen, I'll tell you right now, I'm straight up honest. I love fitness because it was always a passion. I always liked to do something sporty, right, and all that shit. I'll tell you right now, if you offered me 40 grand consistently for the 12 months to pick up dog shit, guess what I'd be doing?
I'd be picking up dog shit.
Right? So my thing is that I do this for a job.
Do it.
I do this for a job.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm lucky because I get to work in a gym, keep myself, relatively fit and help others. Yeah. And that's what the biggest thing. I think that the fitness industry's lost that message, helping.
Those two words.
Yeah.
Help others.
Yeah.
That's what you should be striving for.
Absolutely.
As a coach or a trainer.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what you do.
As a human, man. As a fucking human, bro.
It's to help others.
That's it. I mean,
even if you can only help one person and change them for the positive.
Absolutely. I'll start with you because we've got 3 minutes left of this potty, right? So where do you want to see bullying go in the next 6 to 12 months in people's lives and in our industry? Where do you want to see it? Obviously, we want to see it gone, but
I think our industry it's very shadowed and hidden still. It's not as prevalent as kids getting bullied at school.
Yeah.
But I think when it comes to kids and teens, parents have got to play more of a role in their kids' lives, become more involved, at least give them the opportunity and say, you can say, I'm always here for you, you need to talk to me, and then not be there.
Yeah.
But that's something you've got to do from very young.
Yeah.
2, schools have got to step up.
Yeah.
Schools have got to step up.
I think schools need to put this a part of their curriculum and teach kids.
No tolerance.
Yeah, no tolerance, but teach kids about how, make these subjects relevant at school. Like you are doing damage to this young girl or male by doing certain things, and open their eyes to it.
I'd like to see 2 people: 1, a former bully, and 2, someone that went through extreme bullying, get together and go around.
I love that.
And educate people.
Look, there's probably that happening. We don't know about it. I'll guarantee that's happening.
That would be the ideal scenario. Yeah. The 2 sides of it and how it's changed people and how it's changed them. Because then you've got those 2 sides bouncing off each other.
Absolutely. And you, bud?
I'll take off from where you left. I would love for all schools around the world to bring in heroes, whether they're pilots, whether they're influencers, whether they're
everyday people, bro.
Everyday people that could just share a story going, like a big bloke like you saying, hey, I got bullied when I was growing up. It ain't cool. That is the best medicine. And you're not going to change parents because parents are just a bunch of tools at the end of the day. Well, that's a big call, isn't it? But
you can find his at Instagram on the bottom of this page. And abuse the shit out of him personally.
I'm just saying parents need to harden up a little bit.
I think at 34 he's going to get
but I guess with the industry, I find it. I back in the days I took a lot of it to heart. But if I've ever got a problem, I just know I can beat the shit out of them. Yeah. So, but I have to be careful of beating the shit because
look, you got to be the bigger man sometimes as well. Like you said before, you've done that, and I think the best way to avoid bullying is, mate, if you can, wear a thick skin. It's hard to do. We've all had to do it, but wear a thick skin because they're words. They shouldn't matter. Like you said before, those people don't know you. They don't know who you are. They don't know your background. And none of it matters, guys. Like it's
more of a reflection.
Yeah, if you can't afford the materialistic things, fucking doesn't matter. That's that's where the situation you're in at the moment, at the time. You don't need to keep up. You don't need to, it's easier said than done.
And that's what I think kids need to do. They need to grow up with what they need, not with what they want.
Yeah, and appreciate what's around you. I think there's a lot of shit happening right now, or has happened in the last 6 months that we don't appreciate enough, I think. So, until someone has commit suicide or this, that, the other, then you're like, oh, I wish I could have, mate, appreciate what you've got now. and just be nice to everyone, guys. So I think, look, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you for listening. This one went everywhere today, but I hope you got a bit out of it. And check out the One Tribe podcast and check out these boys. Thank you. Peace.
Peace.